Hi, and welcome to a video on setting due dates in Canvas and Lumen. So in this video, we're going to cover a few things. First of all, how to see if Lumen's copying over due dates from Canvas, how to set due dates in Canvas, how to set them in Lumen, how to give due date exceptions, and then how to give time extenders for those DRC students. So the first thing that's so important to know is the box checked that asks allow the LMS to set assessment due dates. We need to know if that box is checked or unchecked, because that will make a difference from here on out on all the things you do from here on out on setting due dates. So how you access that is to go to one of your assignments. You can access Lumen separately in a separate browser where you log into Lumen and you just go to your home page of the course, or you can log in and go to any homework assignment from within Canvas and just click on LTI Home. And then you can click on, I like to do just like settings. And when you do that, you'll see your course pop up here that you can click on. So that's a way to get into the course within Canvas without having to log in separately on the Lumen tab. Either way you do it, when you go to your Lumen homepage, we want to look for the course settings, and under LMS integration, you want to know if this box is checked or unchecked. Checked meaning that it will copy over the dates from Canvas, or unchecked meaning it won't. So make sure you make note of that very first thing. The next thing we want to do, we want to note here is that if you have the box checked in Lumen, the due dates set within Canvas for all Lumen assignments in your course will copy over, and your students will only be able to work on those assignments until the due date has passed. After that due date, they cannot improve their grade on those assignments, though they still should be able to work on them for ungraded practice as long as you didn't set any until dates in Canvas. So let's assume you have that box checked and you want to carry over due dates from Canvas, and you're just going to go ahead and set due dates in Canvas. How you'll do that, the easiest way is using the Multitool. So the Multitool is an option over here on the left. If it's not showing up there on the left, you may have to go under Settings and Navigation and drag it up here to be seen in your navigation. It's not always being seen. So if it's there, we click on it, and we can do due date modifier. And this is usually the way instructors set up their due dates at the beginning of the semester, to set all of them in bulk. And it's the easiest way to set those due dates. It just takes a while to gather all the assignments if you have a lot of assignments. So it's pretty self-explanatory as you set bulk. That's how we would do it within Canvas. Remember that setting until dates will lock students out of the assignment after that date. So you've got to be careful about that. And don't set them unless you actually want them to not be able to enter that assignment. If a student needs an exception when you're setting dates in Canvas, you'll need to do that individually through each individual assignment under the Edit Assignment Settings and the Add button. So let me just show you that. Let's say you've set all your due dates in Canvas, but now you have a student who got in the class late and needs you need to push a few due dates back just for that student. So you would open the homework assignment, even if it's a Lumen assignment. Again, we're pretending that you are copying over dates from Canvas to Lumen. We're going to click on Edit Assignment Settings. And then you're going to scroll down. And under this Assign To, you're going to click Add. And you would type your student's name in. So I don't think I have a student in this class. I would just do test student, and it would pop up, and then you could change the due date for that student. Again, that is if you have that box checked and Canvas is copying over due dates to Lumen. So go ahead and exit out of there. All right, when to set due dates in both Canvas and Lumen? Well, a lot of instructors choose to do this, and here's why. If the box in the Lumen settings is unchecked, so if you go in ahead and uncheck that box in the Lumen settings, then Canvas isn't going to carry over any dates to Lumen anymore. But you may still choose to set due dates in Canvas. It actually would be smart to, in my opinion, so that your students will still see the items due in their Canvas to-do list, and it would show up on their calendar, and they can see it from within the modules when things are due. But remember, these Canvas due dates won't block any entry to assignments, and nothing's being carried over to the Lumen side if you have this box unchecked. Warning about setting until dates in Canvas. No matter what you decide for adjusting homework due dates flexibility and checking or unchecking that box, don't set until dates within Canvas on anything that you'd like the students to be able to review afterwards. Any any sort of Lumen assignment, I should say, any sort of Lumen assignment that you want them to review afterwards. Doing so will actually prevent students from having access to their Lumen results to view their mistakes. So you can set due dates in Canvas so that they can see it on their side, but don't set until dates if you want them to be able to view those things. Now let's say you have that LMS copying over dates unchecked. Okay, and again, this is what some teachers like to do if they want to allow flexibility on their homework assignments. So they go ahead and uncheck this box. They set due dates in Canvas for students to see, and then once that's done, we can go over to Mass Change and click on Dates. Usually the start date can be set to always or just some previous date, unless you want to not allow them to get into a homework assignment until a certain time. The end date you can set to always. If you want your students to be able to have flexibility with turning in homework late, the due date would still show up on the Canvas end if you've set them in Canvas, but because that box is unchecked, it is going to not carry over to the Lumen, and you can set the due date to be always for these homework assignments. Now you might not want that to be true for quiz, so maybe on a quiz I would change this to an actual due date. For the quiz and the retake, I would want those to actually close up. So on my homework, I would leave them open, but on a quiz, I would put a certain date, and I would match that to the date I've put in Canvas. And that way what the students see on the Canvas end is matching what you've put in on the Lumen end. You know, maybe for a retake, we would make that a week later or something. So going back to choose an end date for the date you want. If you'd like to allow for flexibility in turning in homework late, set the date to always, while setting the Canvas due dates to show up for students. So the student might see a due date to keep them on track, but you might be allowing for flexibility and leaving them open. Next, let's talk about giving due date exceptions in Lumen. So if you have this box unchecked, you have the box unchecked here, like I have here, then setting an exception under here isn't going to do anything. So edit assignment settings, remember how we talked about before, that's not going to do anything because it's not copying over anything from Canvas. So you would only want to click this add button if you had that box checked. If it's unchecked, the way we are going to edit exceptions is different. And the easiest way I've found to do this, especially if you're editing multiple assignments, is to go to the roster within your Lumen, put a check mark next to the student that you want to do the exceptions for, and click Make Exception. And then you can go down and click whatever assignments you want to make exceptions for, and this is a fun and fast way to do it in a mass change. And then you can set the available until date. Let's say I wanted to set it for a week later than what I'm currently at. And then I would just make sure I go down here and record changes, and that's going to change the due dates for make an exception just for that student, So I've listed that all here. You click the box next to their name, make an exception, and then record your changes. Let's talk about how to add a time extender for DRC students on a Lumen assignment. If you have a quiz that's timed or something that's in Lumen, you're going to want to know how to change, add a time extender. So again, we're going to go to roster, and this time we'll just click on the name. Instead of putting a check next to the name, we'll click on the name, and we'll, under the time multiplier, we're going to change that to 2. That's going to double any, and what's nice in Lumen, you don't have to go to each individual quiz that was timed. Any quiz that's timed or any assignment that's timed, it's going to do double for that student. And you just click update info. So that's how we do it within Lumen assignments. If we want to add a time extender for DRC students on a Canvas quiz, so something that's not in Lumen, we have to do that differently. And I don't think there's a quick mass way to do that like there is in Lumen. So the quickest way we do that is we just have to do it per quiz. So if I have, let's see, I'd have to do this every quiz. I would click on the quiz. I would click moderate this quiz. And next to that student, I would click on the pencil. And in this case, everyone already gets 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute quiz. So if I wanted this student to have double, I would give an extra 30 and hit save. And that's how we give double time for DRC students within a Canvas assignment, Canvas quiz. I think we covered everything, so I hope this was helpful. And hopefully you can watch or rewatch this as needed. Thanks.